Hi again, Beanduck here. Now that Art Fight's over, I'd like to reflect on my experience with the event and show some pieces in this event, but mostly focus on kind of the emotional experience or just the experience of Art Fight. Um, so I might not show all of the attacks I do or the finished pieces, but you're definitely welcome to check them out on my profile, along with the defenses, which I won't really be covering here, but I might be mentioning. This year I ended up starting with a mass attack, and you can kind of see I've started sketching it here. I decided to go for 10, I think I ended up with 11 characters, and the idea was to have a convention, or like outside of the convention, a food truck in the park. And so I started sketching some compositions, that I'd seen from actual pictures from conventions. Unfortunately, I went with a composition that was far too zoomed out. I should have kept it closer together like I had in here. So that's definitely something I want to keep in mind for next time, because it feels like there's too much background space, and the background didn't really turn out. I had spent 20 days on the project on and off just because of the headaches being really bad. And so I just kind of submitted it unfinished background-wise, with a few mistakes. People still liked it. I wasn't really satisfied with what I wanted to get out of it, but I definitely think I will do what I can to improve it next time. Maybe work on one of those draw your group compositions as a background. But I definitely enjoyed like the setup for it, like sketching out the different signs, the food trucks, the Beanduck offering the boba, and I put the flavors as the different team names. And then I also had, started the idea of sketching out ID badges, with a scan code that would lead to the character's profile, and then having the team badge on there as well. I did end up using that for other attacks, but not for the group attack. So I'm not sure if I'll do another group attack again, just because of how intense it is for me to spend that much time putting something together. But if I do, I definitely will do a closer composition that focuses more on the characters and less on the background. So all in all, it was a good learning experience, and definitely something that I'll consider again after, starting next year. Now, also, this is the first time I had finished an attack, only to find that the character wasn't on Artfight anymore. In fact, the user profile was completely gone. So I ended up submitting that with the character, but not being able to credit the artist or show them that I'd drawn their character. Now, I took a quick break to kind of sketch one of my own characters. I had kind of, started an attack for another creator that I had seen, and I really liked their archer character. But I focused on creating my own character first, just as a kind of break after that mass attack. And I was able to finish this in a day or two, just kind of having fun with that. And I think that was a good kind of change of pace from drawing other people's characters to making my own. Even with the goal of this year's art fight to be focusing just on practicing drawing characters. After doing a mass attack, I just needed to do something for myself. And that turned out really nice. I did end up getting more, or just as many, rather, attacks for the characters I made after the event started, as I did for the characters that I made before the event started. Now, I did end up going back and finishing this drawing, and fixing up the face after drawing digitally. It turned out okay. It definitely looked better in my head, but, I'm still kind of learning to translate what I'm thinking onto paper. So that was definitely good. I did also get another attack done. I had thought of, doing a comic approach, but ended up just doing still frames with the Beanducks. Now, the Beanduck with other people's characters has definitely been something I really liked. So I'll definitely do that more in the future. Towards the end of the event, I stopped doing that, and I kind of wish I'd just kept it the same throughout. I think it could be a fun challenge for next year to always include a Beanduck in the attack. About this time, I got onto Art Fight, and so I had 13 notifications, and that kind of scared me for a minute. But most of them ended up being just comments, and replies to messages to get permission to show off these works, and just thanking me for the art. One of them was a revenge for the group attack, and I decided to revenge it back with this sketch, as it was the first attack I'd received that year. I then also found an artist that I had followed for a while and have enjoyed and have even talked to on occasion. And her D&D character is the one I decided to draw along with the Beanduck. And she liked that so much she actually sent an animation of my latest character here, which I had finished the same day. And I was kind of blown away with that. It was really awesome. Honestly, at first I felt like I didn't really deserve it because it was so much better than what I had submitted. But then I remembered, that it's not about deserving the artwork, it's just about just doing your best and sharing with other artists. So I definitely expressed my thanks for that, and you can check out the animation on her YouTube page. I'm definitely hoping to keep improving my art so that I can kind of give someone something that well polished that they can enjoy, not because I want people to feel guilty about not being able to give back or send something that good, but just because I want to pay forward what I've already received from other artists. I was pinged in a comment, and it's been a while since I've used ArtFight, so I wasn't familiar with that, and that kind of made me nervous. But it was just someone, again, kind of commenting on a piece, but they just had tagged me in it, so that wasn't anything to worry about. Now, I happened across an account through the Discord, I think, of a character, or a profile that hadn't received any attacks, so I made one for there, using the ID badge, just like I had for this attack here. So I used it for both of those. And then I also, in that time, just went to... Oh, that's what it was. It wasn't on Discord. These 2 or 3 characters for these attacks I found by looking through recent characters, trying to look for where this character was. I didn't end up finding my own character, but I did find others, and decided to attack them. I also received a clay attack, and someone had commented on that attack that I hadn't been introduced to before, and so I felt like they'd be a good next target. So I started sketching ideas and ended up kind of doing a full comic spread for one of the characters they had listed on their profile. And I had also started working on the clay attack. Unfortunately, about this time, my allergies kicked into high gear due to some local construction, and I ended up getting sick. I'm still a little sick myself, so I ended up just kind of roughly sketching that digitally, and I wish I would have just submitted this because it looked better. Anyways, I just felt like it'd be better to submit it than not. I'm kind of questioning that now, but being sick, I definitely couldn't put as much effort into it. And the same goes for this final attack for Zaylor, which I had seen on their YouTube page that they were challenging people to attack for the last 2 days. And I thought, why not? I had toyed around with adding a Beanduck to this one, but ended up not doing it. I didn't know if Zaylor would be cool with the idea of me dressing up my persona like theirs, so I didn't do it. I did find their page, though, because of their redesigning a persona video, which has been one of my favorites on the topic. So that was definitely kind of a nice way to do things. I have some goals for next year. Again, I want to exponentially increase my art so that anyone that receives a piece from me feels like it's from a published work or just a professional commission. Just because I've gotten enough of those that I feel like I want to do more for the other artists that I'm giving stuff to, just to have something that they'll appreciate. I did get quite a few, or at least a couple. I did get a couple comments of people that were very thankful for what I submitted, even if I didn't feel like they were the best. So I know I'm getting close to that. I also want to push my attacks further by kind of rendering more fully, trying different approaches, and just kind of really refining my style. This year I focused more on kind of putting other people's style and copying that and putting it together with other people. Next year I kind of want to focus on my own style and kind of really refining things. But I'm definitely happy I participated this year. Art Fight was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to next year quite a bit. I ended up using like a 4/10th maybe of the sketchbook for this Art Fight, more than I thought I would. So I'm definitely glad to have this. I want to, or rather, I'm looking forward to going from start to finish in this sketchbook and being able to see how my art improves year after year. This will serve as kind of a yearly redraw, except I won't really be redrawing characters, I'll just be drawing new characters in the same book, a year apart. Anyways, thanks for kind of tuning in. I kind of rushed this video again because I'm sick and just trying to get it out there before the middle of the month. I'm trying to get some other stuff done, like the introduction to the channel. I appreciate you watching, if you did, and wish you the best on your own art journey. Later. For anyone that's stuck around this long in the video, I'd like to say thank you. I know it's not up to the standard I would have liked. I'm a little out of practice with videos, and being sick left me with a very little amount of time to get this one done. I'd also like to again thank the artists that agreed to let me show my sketchbook with their characters in this video. If you're interested in seeing any of the finished pieces, or want to see the revenges I received for some of these, feel free to head over to my Art Fight page. I've left a link in the description. I plan on getting back to you soon with a video explaining what I plan to do with this channel, and again would like to thank you for watching. Have a great day!